Because sometimes if you get fitted for your best, how often do you have your best?
Companies like this now changing the game for people as well.
Do you like to work the ball more, or do you want forgiveness out of it?
If you were to sort of do the Pepsi challenge and cover that up and hit that, you'd struggle to tell the difference with them. Lovely strike.
Borderline of not so sure.
Just showing off again. Guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm very lucky again with YouTube royalty, back up in the north of England, and I've brought the sun with me again, James.
I don't know how you've managed it, 'cause it's supposed to be hammering it down, but we'll go with it.
So today, guys, we're going to be tackling iron fits on this particular video. 10 questions to ask your fitter, James, next time you go for an iron fit to get the most out of it, right? Obviously nowadays it might be a free session, it might be a paid session, but I want to try and arm the guys who are watching with the best questions to ask their fitter between us, from our base, our knowledge, and just to make sure that when they go, they've got their own base knowledge as to what they should really be getting fitted into, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because when you go for a club fitting, it should almost be a lesson within that fitting. It needs to be a case of, I'm going in to get a new set of clubs, but I also want to gain as much knowledge about those clubs and about the clubs that maybe we don't opt to go for as well. So I think the first question I'd always be asking is sort of, what can I look to get out of this fitting? And then the fitter should say, well, what ball flight do you want? What shot shape do you want? And all that kind of thing. And you always want to, I almost start at the end and almost go, well, what can I get out of this fitting as a whole?
What does success look like?
And then you'll find a lot of kind of sub questions that kind of branch off from there.
Yeah, I mean, I always say to the guys, I think try and find out as much information about your own equipment before you can go.
That's a great one.
So you're going to arm the fitter as well, because sometimes it might not have shaft labels on there, and it might be an older model, and if in all fairness to the guys who might be fitting, if it's a model from 20 years ago, they might not actually know that much about that model.
No, absolutely.
So if you can arm yourself a little bit, and then you can actually tell them. I think the first thing I would say is knowledge is power in your regard. So go armed with the equipment information, your own gear, right? And then you've got your starting point, and then also if you can, I think as a starting point, if you can get your information down as well, if you can get to a range that you've got like a Trackman range, or come and see a simulator where you can get some numbers, I think that's going to be gold as well.
And it's a funny one, isn't it? Because it's what questions you need to be asking, but it's also probably understanding what questions the fitter will be asking of you. Because a lot of the time the fitter should be asking you questions all the time, not just was that a good shot, was that a bad shot, but how does that feel? Are you pleased with the result of that? Do you feel like you have better in you than that, or do you feel like that's your best? Because sometimes if you get fitted for your best, how often do you have your best? I think that's a really interesting one, isn't it?
Well, we're going to find out. we're going to hit a few.
We're having a bit of a scramble.
Yeah, let's go for it, Very nice, sir.
That'll do nicely.
Exactly where you said. Very nice shiny iron I see there as well.
Yeah, it's a brand spanker, this one actually. So not fitted, but review coming on channel very, very soon. Is it under embargo? No, it's out, isn't it? We can talk about it. I always forget.
Those embargoes always getting us in trouble. Is that the line, is it, sir?
Probably just left of that. Go just left of the bunker.
All right, let's see if I can follow you. You gave me a very nice line last time to follow you.
It's not over the trees with the iron this time. Oh, nice.
Bit too far left, I think.
It depends on the kick. That could be really good, actually. So, like another question that I think people could be asking as well when they go to a fitting, kind of revolves around set makeup. So obviously you there using a driving iron, whereas I've got the 4 iron. And a lot of the time it's, what do you think I should be using top end of the bag? But then again, it's going to come down to the fitter asking you the questions of, what ball flight do you like to see? Do you like to see a high trajectory, mid, low? Do you like to work the ball more, or do you want forgiveness out of it?
Yeah, it's understanding where you play your golf and where you're going to benefit from different lofts, right? Obviously, you can only have 14 golf clubs in the bag for those guys who are just starting out. You can't have any more than that. Putter and driver are probably going to be in there, so that's 2, so 12 clubs. And then you've got got maybe some fairway woods in there, some irons.
How many wedges
around wedges,
Yeah.
you know. So we'll drive down, we'll see where we're at, and then we'll talk about the next couple of questions for you guys. 109.
109. So what kind of wedge are we thinking here? Because again, this is one of the questions you'd be, and again, what you'd be asking, but I also think what the fitter would be asking you. a very two-way conversational street, isn't it?
Yeah, so I mean, I've got my gap wedge here, which it says 48, but it's actually bent to 50 degrees. And I found when I went to a free wedge system, it really improved my scoring.
Yeah.
Because I got rid of that massive gap between my pitch and wedge and what used to be, I used to have a 52 in there.
Yeah.
Constantly trying to force
well,
the 52
that can be a 6 gap difference, can't it?
Yeah, which is quite a lot, right? And then you're also generally changing construction. So although I play a forged iron, it's still got a little bit of face tech on there. And then when you go into something which is like this, which is an out-and-out blade, there isn't really any tech in that, right, James?
No,
so all
really.
of a sudden you're losing a little bit of ball speed.
You're thinking bounce, aren't you, and grind, but that's really it.
This is that middle wedge for me. You know, this is just filling that gap specifically, and I just worked really hard to get that loft exactly where it needed to be for me. So I think going back to what we were talking about on the tee there, having that free wedge system is, for me now, I think is absolutely vital. I think more ammunition down the bottom. How often are you realistically, as an amateur golfer, as a handicap golfer, you're going to pull out a fairway wood from 220 and...
But I think the beauty about this as well is, it's something you'd ask a fitter, but also just pose those questions to yourself if you're looking at buying second-hand online. And because a lot of the time it's a common sense answer. You don't need a club fitter to tell you that you wanted a different loft. Obviously a simulator helps and having the numbers helps, but apart from that, you knew that there was a gap in there, and then it's just a case of trial and error. If it doesn't work, ship it on and sell it again. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right, we'll take your drive. I'm going to go with your 50 as well, because I've got a pitching wedge or a lob wedge in here.
Please do.
Yeah.
Right, see if I can get it up there. I think we said 109, didn't we?
Yeah, land it 120, it's perfect.
Okay.
120 just left of it.
Cool, I'm not quite Scotty Scheffler.
I'll tell you what though, I don't think we need a scramble, you could have just done this yourself. Oh, look at that.
Might be okay. Give that a go, sir, see what you think of that one.
That. Great shot. And that just goes to show that your 10-year-old clubs, I think that's about a foot away from the flag, so you don't necessarily need to be spending...
I'm really comfortable with that as a club.
Yeah.
Oh, he's outdone me with my own clubs again.
That might be too long, watch this.
Come back,
if it just...
come back, come back, come back, come back.
Oh, it's trying, look, there we go.
Here we go.
There we go.
Here we go.
That was the borderline of not so sure.
Just showing off again. Beautiful. He's actually spun it back past mine there.
I think yours is closer though.
That was a yardage I would have really struggled with in the past, and I would have had to hit a knockdown pitch and wedge. And you know, I think as your handicap level goes up, hitting those partial shots becomes more difficult. So that's where I think that additional ammunition down the bottom for me has been absolute gold, I think.
I think so, 100%. And I think it's such an overlooked area of the bag. I've been to iron fittings in the past and they haven't even focused on wedges, and you're like, that's crazy, because that's your scoring area. Anything from 100 yards and in or 120 yards and in, it's your scoring area.
I think iron fit, but wedges are going to be discussed at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Right, let's go and have a little look. Oh, I can't believe how much action you got on yours, James. Pure strike.
It's knowing the course, isn't it, and knowing I can go along here.
Yeah, well, you gave it the spot-on advice. There's yours that bank we were trying to put it into here, guys.
Nick's going to birdie this one on his own.
I'm going to get your one. Cool. Tell you what, the fans would have gone wild for yours though, spinning back past the flag.
They'd love that, wouldn't they? Spinning back into the bunker, wonderful. It's a delightful three.
But we picked the right club off the tee, because I have hit driver up here before, but I actually think that's the right play there.
Because otherwise you're too close.
Yeah.
And I think even that with the club fitting element of, do you have a, especially if you guys, a lot of you will play the same golf course every week, every other week, because it's where you pay your membership and it's where you do a lot of your golf.
Yeah.
So it's thinking about, when I go into that fitting, is there a certain par 3 distance I want? Is there a certain club I want for 3 or 4 of the shorter par 4s? Because I don't need to hit driver all the time.
No.
And then from there, it's mapping out your plans for the day. Obviously, the weather can change, things can change, but if you know that you're going into a fitting based on a more technological approach, rather than they're shiny and they go a long way, then it's a different outcome altogether.
And it's picking it for the course that you play at, obviously. When guys used to come and see me, maybe from the south of England on the coast, you know, St George's, up in the northwest of England, driving irons are more important for those guys naturally.
Yeah.
But if I'm fitting somebody who's from the middle of the country, you know, I'm probably looking at more hybrids and fairway woods, to be honest, just because actually flight over the top of trees, etc., is going to be more important for them. So there's that as well. You've got to make sure you're aware of what shots are going to be required at your home golf course. the fitter's just not going to know that off the top of their head. But if you arm them with all the right information, you can really squeeze everything out of that fit that you can possibly get. So
yeah, very good.
On to next, sir.
Yeah, let's go.
Nice birdie.
Another really interesting point for me is, so I know I used a Callaway on that last hole, but I've got a couple of my fitted clubs in here.
Beautiful.
And one of the things that I'd be asking certainly is, how can shaft and head design benefit me? So these have slightly different shafts in them depending on the iron. So the 4 iron has a lighter shaft in than say the 9 or 8 iron. So I can just kind of use that dynamic loft better to again help me get that ball up in the air. And then you'll see that the 7 and 5 iron here that we have are a CB head, whereas the 9 iron's an MB head. So again, that's more just personal preference. I don't see a massive difference in that kind of ball flight there. You see a little bit, but certainly it's just how do you want your set to look and what do you want it to perform like. So for me, certainly there, understanding that a slightly different head makeup and a slightly different shaft weight can make all the difference throughout the set.
Absolutely. I mean, even the guys on tour using combo sets now, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time you'll see them moving into something with a little bit more of a cavity on the back to give them a little bit more launch, a little bit more spin.
Or that hollow body design where it's just a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, look at Rory with that sort of 2/3 iron that he keeps on throwing in from a couple of generations ago. And Chris Guttrup obviously had that old 1 iron that he threw in, which is kind of that hollow head design. But definitely the shafts is a really interesting take as well, I think, James, because obviously the lighter graphites maybe also
steel,
give you...
So these are steel actually.
But I mean, very, you could mix it up between...
Yeah, it can.
I mean, there's nothing stopping you from having a half and half set, right?
No, absolutely
Where
not.
you could say, I want a head that gives me a bit more launch, and actually, do you know what? Let's try an 85-gram graphite in those, whereas maybe even drop it down into 100-gram steel for a bit more control.
Yeah.
There's no rules, right?
The more
there's
you want to go into it, the more your fitter will be able to go into it with you. But it's a case of maybe don't ask too many questions where you start confusing yourself or even the fitter. But I think certainly being able to give yourself an ideology on, right, what do I want my 4, 5 and 6 iron to fly like? What do I want my 7, 8 and 9 iron to fly like?
Yeah.
And if you go to the right fitting centre, we've gone to the guys at SGGT for quite some time, and they fit on a 4, 6, 8 wedge.
Yeah.
Whereas some places you go, it's like, oh, there's your 7 iron.
Sure.
And you're like, well, I can't really work out what I'm trying to do there with just a 7 iron. But again, if you know that idea, obviously, Gimme's all about second-hand clubs, isn't it? And you can really work on how you want to build your set.
Absolutely, and I think that's what I'm trying to do here is arm you guys with the information that, I mean, obviously, if you can go and hit the product, that's perfect, right? But also, people don't have the time for that. They don't have the resources necessarily. So if you can really learn as much about the fitting process as possible by, sessions like this, then you can make more educated decisions secondhand as well.
Right, at the post, anything around 200 yards.
Perfect. Beautiful. That's that turf interaction you're talking about as well, sir.
Yeah, big fan of that. Nice.
Should be in play, both of those.
They're perfect, those
Fabulous.
ones. I've actually just remembered they are graphite. Just remembered.
At the LA?
I was just thinking, I was wondering what shafts. Oh, yeah. The Pure, though. Which is another question you could be asking.
Yes.
What benefits do I get from that? So you look at how the shaft graphics on this one are slightly down the back if you look at where that club face is pointing.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at the other two, I think some of them are even on the front. Look.
Correct.
So just making sure the spine and the shaft's in the right position, because they don't always put the graphics on in location to
just the little touches. Some companies will offer that, some companies won't offer that.
It's quite an expensive offering, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, if you want to go that extra, if you're spending quite a bit of money on your gear like that, then obviously you want to make sure it's set up correctly as well, right? So we haven't spoke about important things like loft and lie and length, but obviously they're the things that should be getting measured for you as well. They're going to have vital impact on the face. And also allowing you to stay in posture, right? Which, from a coaching perspective is vital, right? You don't want to be playing with clubs too short or too long.
I think that, and then if you don't understand why, ask. Because it's such an easy thing to go, I have a friend who's 6'4". Does he necessarily need longer golf clubs? No. We don't know that until we've seen the dynamics. Fit, whereas you might have a guy who's 5'8", and he might need longer because he might come out of his posture a little bit, and dynamically he might need longer shafts. Then you start thinking about, right, well, what happens to the lie angle? Because if I go longer in the shaft, then it's going to sit flatter, so I need to then have it more upright. So understand the marriage between length and lie and things like that is massively important as well. And if you don't understand it, it can be explained to you in lots of different ways, obviously with the face playing, tilt and things like that. So for example, if you have a 9-iron here and you have something pointing straight at you, if that club is sitting too far upright, you'll see that T-peg or the face starts to point too far to the left. So it's making sure that that face is pointing dynamically where you want it to impact. It doesn't necessarily matter too much at address, but when we're talking impact, when the handle's forward and you've maybe dynamically taken the loft off a bit, then it's a really, really important thing.
So, I mean, you should really be covering that with your fitter. It's absolutely vital that should be something that should be coming up in conversation.
And you don't need to understand it, but it helps. Like if you go in for the education, like we said, it's going to massively help.
I mean, absolutely. And I think that great explanation there, by the way. Love that.
PGA training, that one, mate.
Right, let's go find these two. 78.
Oh, lob wedge. Is it?
Yeah. I feel like I've got to hit one of yours now. Go on after you, sir. Go on after you.
Are you sure? It was your drive.
Well, you keep on hitting mine so good. I feel like I've got to hit one with yours.
Right.
The skill is in being able to pick up other people's equipment and flush it. Lovely strike.
If that's the distance, that should be good.
Yeah. Very nice.
Delightful.
Stuck it as well.
Delightful.
So what have we got here?
So that's a new Tacoma, is it 60 degree? 60 degree V grind. So it's the Bryan Brothers wedge.
Yeah.
And that's a prototype one, so it's not got the colours and stuff in it. But I think when you start talking about wedges, so they're a DTC brand as well. So all they do is they have a V grind and a S grind, Bob, come on, standard grind. So that's obviously the versatile grind and the standard grind standard.
Yeah.
I think just segregating wedges with two grinds is perfect for most people.
Yeah.
As soon as you start having an M grind, a Q grind, a V grind, a W grind, an X grind, there's a little bit much going on for people, isn't there?
I think so, absolutely, for most people. I think if you're somebody who's experienced, you've got control of your low point and you're playing on different ground conditions and you can chip and pitch nicely, then fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody who actually struggles with your chipping, bounce is going to be your friend, sole width is going to be your friend, and you need to crack on. Grooves all the way across the face.
Yeah,
here.
nice full face grooves. Yeah,
gives us half a chance, doesn't it? I don't know if I can get 60 there, you know, but I'm going to give it a go.
I wouldn't normally hit that, to be honest, but it was the only wedge I've got in the bag at the moment.
See if I can get it there. Probably not.
That's launched lovely though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That'll do.
I can't get it there.
That'll do.
Very nice though. First Tacoma I've actually hit that one.
Oh, is it?
So it is. Yeah, so I was interested to try that there. Great looking head, I have to say. Companies like this now changing the game for people as well.
Just keeping money in people's pockets,
from a price point, and obviously, but also the quality, you know, that there, if you were to sort of do the Pepsi challenge and cover that up and hit that, you'd struggle to tell the difference with them. Right, I think James is closer here, so let's go and knock it in.
Yes.
Have you got a putter in there? He has.
I've got a putter. So you can tell, guys, that my life doesn't, the golf bag changes all the time because we're always reviewing them, so it's difficult.
And that's another thing about fitting as well. If you go to your fit and you've got a favourite club, so to speak, there's nothing stopping you from keeping it in the bag, by the way. And the fitter can work around that. If you've got a trusty wedge or if you've got a 4-iron that you feel really confident with.
I always think hybrids and driving irons, because the technology may move on, but you may not want it to move on. You may not want to hit it 220 instead of 200. You may want that 200 club.
Absolutely.
And if you go and get fitted for a new set and then you lose that, you've kind of lost a really, really strong part of your arsenal.
Yeah.
This is to birdie them both. Oh, all day.
We're on fire here.
Look at that.
Bryson who? I think that was such a valid point there about the hybrid. That's so true. I think don't be afraid to keep something in the bag and say to the fitter, do you know what, actually this part of the bag's really solid, but I do want to work around it. So this is how far it goes. This is the loft on it. And also don't be afraid to change your lofts up as well.
Yeah.
Because shaft length and everything will dictate how far something goes. But guys, I hope you found a load of value in that, James.
Yeah, I always love talking about stuff like that because it's almost the unwritten rule of talking about fittings, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'd always recommend go for a fitting, but obviously if you can't, or a lot of people get nervous going for fittings or don't want to spend the money of them, just think about these questions we've asked. Ask them yourself. Speak amongst people in the know, maybe your local pro, and they'll point you down the line of what you can get. Yeah,
we've started doing a virtual fitting session with myself at Gimme as well, where I can guide you through the different options that are available second hand. If that's something that you'd prefer to do rather than hit in person as well, you can find that on the Gimme Market website. But thanks very much for your time again.
Cheers, mate.
Really appreciate it.
200, we'll take
as
that,
always.
yeah.
2 birdies as well.
There we go.
Cheers.